Okay, see Lindelof videos using law of sines to solve a side-side angle triangle with one solution. And I'm going to show you how we can tell this one only has one solution. Otherwise, the form becomes a little bit difficult. So this one works out well. Let me show you how it happens. So let's start with this. We have this triangle here. Remember, when we solve a triangle, we're asked to fill in all 6 values. So right now we have 1, 2, 3 of the values. We're missing the angular value C here, the angular value B here, and the side length C here. So I'm going to use law of sines here, and all I'm going to say is this. I'm going to say that I'm going to use this part right here. So I'm going to say sine of A is equal to sine of B. So I'm going to just use this piece right here. So what I'm going to say is this. I'm going to let this be A, if you don't mind. So I'm going to let this be A right here. So this be A right here. So I'm going to say sine of 40 degrees over its corresponding leg, right? Comes out its opposite side. Here's this 3. So over 3 is equal to sine of B over 2, right? So sine of B over 2. And if you're asking me why I'm not using both, because why I'm not using this one, is because I'd have 2 variables here. I wouldn't have the sine, couldn't take sine because I don't have the angular value, nor do I have the leg, so I'd have 2 variables. So I only have 1 variable here. So I'm going to look at all of this stuff, and I'm going to solve. And when I solve, remember, I'm trying to get B, right? My ideal outcome is to find out what this angular value is. So this is how I'm going to do this. I'm going to multiply both sides by 2, and I'm going to get sine of B is equal to 2 sine 40 degrees, right? This is just algebra, 2 sine 40 degrees over 3. So hopefully you're okay with that. From here, it gets weird because, like, where do you go from here? Because you can't divide both sides by sine, right? Because this is not sine times B, it's sine of B. B is called the argument. So I'm trying to figure out what angular value makes this thing true. So this is what I'm going to do, and this is where people get turned around. Here I'm saying, this says sine of some angle. If you want to know what that angle is, then what you want to solve for is the inverse. So this is inverse of sine 40 over 3, right? We'll give you back your B value, right? Because this says sine of this is that. So that asks this question. This says, what angle is this true of? And what happens is this is where it gets weird. Again, this is calculator math, and you need to make sure that when you're inverting it, that you use the inverse here. It's not to the negative first power. Look on your calculator. It exists there for you to find that. It might even be called arc sine, however it comes up. But it comes out this way, and 2 things happen. You get, okay, well, one possibility is that the angular value B is worth, it's like 25 point something. Yeah, 25.4 degrees. The other possibility is that the angular value is equal to 154.6 degrees. So is there a way for us to find one solution here? Well, if we look at this for a second, remember we have interior angles theorem of triangles that says when you add all the interior angles of a triangle, they'll always total 180. So look for a second. I have angle A is 40. If I add 40 to this, I get 194.6, which is greater than 180 degrees. Therefore, this cannot be the solution. This cannot be the solution. Therefore, we can say with some certainty that the angular value here is 25.4 degrees. Do you see how I kind of got that? So you're like, oh my God, this is that weird case, right? Weird case, kind of indeterminate. Like, I'm not sure which one it is. There's sometimes a way to check. So we just checked that and found that out, right? From here, we can just do some pretty simple math. We can find out that we know that this angle plus C has to be equal to 180. And therefore, this has to be equal to 114.6 degrees. 114.6 degrees, right? So I think that this actually works out pretty okay. Not great, but pretty okay. And then from there, we just finish up. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 of the 6 of our parts, we need this part right here. So we're going to find that out by saying sine of 40, right? So sine of 40 degrees with its corresponding length of 3 is equal to sine of 114.6 degrees, and its corresponding length is c, isn't it? And then we kind of push through that math. Remember, what we're doing is we're solving for this value c here. We do our algebra here, we get c is equal to 3 sine 114.6 degrees all over sine 40 degrees. And that's calculator math, definitely, and it's approximately equal to 4.24. So we've solved our triangle. Wow, this is a lot of work. Hopefully this has been helpful. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do. Thanks.